Okay, it's time for another Target Solutions update. Quite a few changes right now, nothing too terribly different on how processes work, just a basically different layout and some different additions. So let's get started. As you may have seen, the bulletin board has changed. That is the first obvious change that we have. So I entered these tables here, and the tables, first of all, save a lot of room so we can put a lot more information into the bulletin board. And it also organized it a lot better. So in the red table is going to be previous drills from previous weeks. And then you'll notice I added which training it applies to, so special hazard training or your SCBA training, pump operations, etc. Any notes, paramedic CE recorded by Rosemary, EMT. This is where you're going to record the lecture, and then soon to have feature EMS skill of the month, but you don't have to do that yet. The second table, this is going to be training links, different things that we have available. I added available training opportunities. So previously what was happening was we would offer classes formally for the department. I would send out an email, and then people would reply on FormStack to apply for the training opportunity. That worked very well, and it was doing great, except for the fact that people would forget that they opened the email, they would forget that the class was available, and unless they saved the email, there was no way of going back. So I thought it was a good idea to add available training opportunities. At any time, you can click on this link, and you can see what the department is formally offering for training. So if we click on it now, you can see Leadership 1, RECO, Instructor 1, FAE, and Structural Collapse. It has open enrollment, and we can make sure that only certain people are able to sign up for certain classes. So if we want it for only officers, we can limit it to officers only being able to enroll. If we want everybody, we can make it everybody. But pretty much all you have to do is click into it. It's going to give you the name, the start and end date, the location of the class, a description of the class, and then the prerequisites of the class. It's going to send you a notification. It's going to tell you who it's available to, so you can see this class is available to all groups, and that it's open enrollment, what time it closes at, and all you have to do to sign up for this class or to request this class is click the enroll button. Once you click the enroll button, I'll get a notification, and then I will be able to determine who, based on seniority or based on the other rules, gets the class. So if you look at my approval requests here, you have these people who are waiting for approval for the class. Okay, so let's talk about classes for a second. Starting immediately, the only classes you will be approved to take are those classes that you have all the prerequisites already for. So as an example, Structural Collapse Ops. If you click in, you see you must have technical rescue awareness prior to getting approved for this course. Most everybody does have technical rescue awareness. But if for some reason you don't have it, and this is a class you want to take, even if you have seniority, you will not get this class approved through the department. Okay, so why are we making this change? We're making this change because too frequently what's happening is that members are taking a class before they have the prerequisites, and that's allowed by the state, which is why we've allowed it so far. However, what's happening is the members are not finishing the prerequisites, so they're not taking this technical rescue awareness class, for example, within the year, and then the structural collapse ops that they already took in past, they can't get the certification for because the practical expires after a year. So we spend the $1,500 to send them to structural collapse ops before they have the prereq. They never get the prereq, so they can't get the actual structural collapse ops certification, and then the practical expires and we just wasted $1,500. So from now on, you must have the prereqs in order to take the class or get approved for the class. We will not be paying anybody to go to class formally unless you have the prereqs in order to take the class. So keep that in mind. Okay, so the next part of the training links table is the OSFM testing sites and dates. If you want to see when a state exam is being held, if you were not able to take it during the class at the last day, you can just click on this link and it's going to bring you to the fire marshal testing sites and locations, all the dates listed. Keep in mind that you need to sign up for an exam 30 days prior to the exam. And what I mean by 30 days is you cannot sign up on June 3rd for this July 3rd date. I mean, you can, but odds are you're not going to get approved because the state takes the 30-day rule from the time they read the request. So if you send it in on June 3rd for July 3rd, but they don't read it for 2 days, they're going to say you only have 28 days notice, not 30 days notice. So it's from the time that the state actually reads the email. So if we put in the request and it takes them 2-3 days, especially with holiday weekends, you're probably going to get denied. So make sure you have a buffer in there of at least 3 to 5 days. So that's all we have on the training links right now. Of course, we're going to add some more. We'll move down to the green table. The green table is shift commander links. These are just different links that the shift commanders can use to make sure that things are getting completed or documented within Target Solutions. So it's kind of your fail-safe check. If you want to see if everybody's done the SCBA check, just click on the link. And for some reason, these are not going by reverse order like we originally thought. So just to check the most current date, you can either scroll all the way to the bottom, or you can just click on this arrow here at the top and do sort Z to A, and it's going to pull the most recent date up to the top. And it'll move all the data with it. So this is just a good way to check and make sure all of the information is getting documented correctly. Same thing with completed apparatus check. As a shift commander, if you just want to see if those are getting entered, just click on there, and it's going to give you a whole list of everything that's been done for the day. If you want to check the personnel certifications, we have our main list here. So this is the main list of certifications. You can check all the members. Last name, first name, and every state certification that is possible is listed here at the top. Goes all the way across. You'll notice a P that's red, and that means it's pending, so we're waiting on documentation that they took the state exam or to see if they passed the state exam, or just waiting on the certification itself to show up. So the P is just a reminder to me to put in the state certification when it arrives. Now, one of the other things you want to look for on the SFD certification main list, you have 2 additional tabs here at the bottom. You have a MABIS tab and a NIMS tab. So the MABIS tab, this is going to help write out the roster every morning for who should go on the MABIS teams. You have TRT, dive, and hazmat. Anybody in orange is a squad member. Anybody not in orange but listed has the minimum certifications for the TRT roster, for the hazmat roster, and then once I get dive, for the dive roster. So if you're making out the rosters for the morning MABIS dailies, then just check on the MABIS tab here, and here are the minimum requirements necessary, and here's who fits those requirements in each category. They're in alphabetical order, so it should be super easy to look and see who is who. The last tab here is the NIMS tab. If you click on NIMS, not only is it going to show you what you have, but it's also going to show you what's required for each position. So firefighters, these 2 categories are required, lieutenants, and then captains. So you could just see who has what all the way down the line. Candidate midterm evaluations and candidate final evaluations for the shift commanders. This is going to come in the future. This is something we're working on, but it's going to be an easy access to fill out their evals electronically once they have them completed. The daily links. Still the same daily links as before. We just added a few more. So we still have the apparatus checks. We still have the SCBA checks, and we do those exactly like we have been. Roll call, same thing. We've added physical fitness. We've also added the glucometer check. Glucometer check has the same information as the form before it. So if you go ahead and click on it and say who did it, do the date completed, and click this glucometer check, it's going to bring you to this form. You're going to type in which apparatus you have, the serial number, the low range, the high range, and if it passed or failed. If you click failed, it's automatically going to send an email to Steve Johnson with all this information showing that this glucometer failed. So he's going to have immediate notification. You still have to go back, click that you've completed it, and hit record as complete. So that should sum up the tables and the new information on this side. There's also a few other things that I want to go over. First thing I want to go over is my credentials. If you click into my credentials, each individual is able to see which OSFM certifications they have. So you can see I've clicked on mine. These are the OSFM certifications that I have. So I can always see everything that I have personally. And if that's only if you want to go instead of the main sheet with everybody. If you just want to see your own certs, they're listed right here. We don't have a copy of the certification actually in here, but we do have just the certification listed for your knowledge. So if you're wondering if you have a certification in something, make sure you go into My Credentials and then scroll down. All the OSFM certifications will be listed. Okay, another thing I want to go over is there was a recommendation that it would be nice to know which categories the credentials actually had. And so if you go to your firefighter credential here, you'll see your ISO topics. And before you were only able to see driver's training, hazmat, officer, etc. But you didn't know exactly which topics were within here. So now you have the ability, you just hit the down arrow, and you can see all the topics that are listed that count for driver's training. If you want to see what counts for SCBA, just click the down arrow, and these are all the topics that count for SCBA. So now there should be no question about what counts in each category. You should have easy access to see right here of everything that counts in each. If you see something missing that you think should be added to a category, just let me know and I'll add it. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about is this EMS skill of the month. Now, I really didn't want to do a recording on this. I wanted to do an in-person to show the different process for the EMS skill of the month, but unfortunately our schedule's pretty full for the next couple of weeks and it's really hard to fit it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate it now, and then we will try and hold an in-person with all the officers as soon as we can. But just to try it, since we don't have a skill in July that officially needs to be done, we're just going to try this, see how it works, see if there's anything we need to change, and then we'll do an in-person after that. So the EMS skill of the month. When the EMT schedule has bag valve mask as your skill of the month, or C-collar, or bandages, and dressings, you used to fill out the check sheet that Steve would give you. Everybody would fill one out. The officer would sign all of them. You take all those pieces of paper, you send them to Steve, and he would file them away. It just resulted in a whole lot of paperwork, a whole lot of filing, and if we ever needed to recall the data, we'd have to pull up hundreds of pieces of paper just to sort through to see if everybody's done it. So I've spoken with Steve, and we've worked on this process. The only thing that makes this different is that each member has to fill out their own skill sheet and electronically sign that it's completed. So when the company officer says, hey, we went through this skill, that's only one skill sheet for everybody, and we need one skill sheet for each person. So that's why this is different. So you can see here it says save and assign skill here. All the company officer is going to do is the same thing you always do, and you're just going to click on this link. I have it bringing you straight to the save and assign, so you don't even need to know where to find this. It's automatically going to bring up this link for you. You're going to select which people completed the skill. So I'll select myself, Russ, and Lisa as a demo. So these 3 people went over bag valve mask, or the skill of the day. Hit continue. Now it's going to bring you to the save and assign page. What this is doing is allowing you to fill out part of the data as the officer and then leaving a section for the firefighter to complete on their own. So I mentioned which section belongs to which person in the description. So the duration. How long did it take? 1 hour. Company officer completes that. Company officer complete the location. We did it at 52. E-signature. Company officer will complete. Verify if the member listed has successfully passed the skill. Has not or has. Instructor. Company officer complete this. So who's the officer verifying the completion? Now this next section is for the firefighter to complete. The firefighter is going to have to click the skill sheet and complete the form. The officer already said it was 1 hour, said where it's at, says they've successfully passed the skill, and they put their own name on. So just leave the firefighter complete section and click save and assign. You can see the activities being assigned to 3 users. So all that is doing is it's going to send it to the 3 people who need to complete it. And you can see right here, I assigned it to myself, and now it's showing up EMS Skills BVM. So it's going to show up on the member's schedule to complete. So each member it's assigned to will just click this. Their officer would have already filled out all this information. All they have to do is click on the skill sheet, which is mostly filled out. You just got to select your name. And I'm not listed, but select your name, the time and date, first attempt, and it's already performed without coaching if you passed. Select competent, enter any comments, and then electronically sign at the bottom. Click submit form. Gonna exit out of there. Then to complete the activity, you're just going to click I have completed the form above. This forms your electronic signature. This is your instructor's electronic signature. And the whole thing is going to be saved. Once you hit submit and complete, it's going to be documented as training within Target Solutions. So what we have done here is we have completed a skill sheet with both an electronic signature from the officer, from each individual person. We've completed the whole check sheet electronically, and we've documented it as EMS training within the documentation program. So that should do it for all the changes that we've made so far in Target Solutions. Keep the suggestions coming, all the recommendations. We're trying to make it easier, not harder. So I apologize for changing everything so quickly, but we're trying to move everything over from Firehouse into this new program so that we can literally use Firehouse only for scheduling purposes and only for documenting incidents. So if you have any recommendations, any suggestions, please feel free to let me know, and we'll try and get them switched around or try and get them added to the program. And go ahead and try the skill of the month if you feel like it. Let me know how it works, and let me know if anything needs to be changed. All right, thank you.